you were a facial expression, what would it be?
That.
Yes. Okay, what's your name?
My name is Josie.
And how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay. And who are you on a soul level?
On a soul level, I think I'm just me. I don't know that there's one word to describe it. I feel like I have so many like feelings and opinions on things and so many different beliefs that are kind of taken from people I've met or experiences that I've had that I don't know there's one like particular way to describe it.
Okay. What's something that you're really opinionated about?
A lot of things. Most things, actually. I'm an Aries, so have a lot of opinions.
Yes.
But one thing I'm super opinionated about is the way that people talk to people. I feel like if you're not, as a fire sign and an Aries, I feel like a lot of times I can come off harsh, and that's not necessarily my intent. My intent is just to be honest. And so, like, I've been trying to be very mindful of that and realizing that maybe what to me would have just been like a simple truth is something that's like hurtful or upsetting to others.
Yeah.
And sort of edit how I go about, talking about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Do you know the rest of your chart, or you just know you're an Aries? Like, do you know your moon sign?
Yes, I'm a Libra moon and a Scorpio rising.
Okay, I'm a Scorpio rising too.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, sometimes all of that, I don't know, has something to do with like but I'm the same way. I'm a Taurus. Like,
Yeah.
people are like, you're fine. I'm just like, I'm not trying to be
Right.
that way.
I'm just trying to be honest. I'm not trying to like be
your
hurtful.
feelings.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to draw.
Cool.
I want you to pick colors that represent you and your life and things that make you happy, things that make you sad, just anything that really reminds you of like the big important stuff.
Okay.
And you can pick as many colors as you want to.
That was gonna be my question.
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna get you to explain like what the colors, like why you picked the colors you picked.
Okay. This is brighter than I think. So we'll do. And we'll do this one. Okay.
Okay. So what colors did you choose?
So I picked. Most of these are like pretty pastel,
Mm-hmm.
pastel-like colors. So I've got a yellow and a purple.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would call this like a seafoam, a pink, a periwinkle gray type, and like a sky blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that say about you? Like, do you consider yourself someone that's kind of like soft at heart, or do you like really like airy type of thing?
Yeah, I think I'm very tender at heart, but I have a very like not tender exterior.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can draw whatever you want.
Okay.
Don't feel pressure. Most people don't finish, so
Okay.
whatever. And then I'm just gonna ask you questions while you draw.
All right.
So the first question is, what makes you the most upset? Like, what really pisses you off?
I don't know. What really, really fries my cheese?
I love that.
Honestly, it depends on the day. Like, if I'm being just, like, petty and annoying, I really hate the way people chew. I don't wanna hear you masticate. Like, I don't need to hear it. I'm not a cow. You're not a cow. We're adults. You can chew with your mouth closed. So that's like on a petty level. But then on a more like human level, something that pisses me off is when how do I word it? When people blatantly look down on you solely based on their skewed perception of you. Like, they may not know you, or they may have just heard of you, right? And then they've already created like this story about you in their head, and then it's almost like then the way they go at you makes me respond in a way that sort of fulfills that narrative. And I feel like that's so, I mean, it's not fair. It's very controlling on the other person's part. And it just shows that, like, you're insecure about something and you want to portray it onto me. And, like, I don't need that, I should have the courtesy to be my own individual. And then if I happen to upset you or wrong you being me, then okay, I can own that. But not if it's just like, you don't like me because you came up with a theory. That's not exactly. Real,
Okay. So what makes you really happy? What excites you the most?
Seeing my friends happy and seeing my family happy. Yeah, like seeing them go through whatever they're going through and like sort of come out of it on the other end, or like be awarded opportunities that they really like want. That's cool. I like that a lot.
What's one of your favorite songs right now?
Oh my gosh, right now, Old Town Road. Hands down. I feel like that, or, I take it back. Maybe Josie by Doja Cat. Between one of those two. It's been more Juicy lately, but Old Town Road was definitely like my song of the summer.
Yes. I feel like that's a lot of people's songs.
I know.
Everywhere.
It's so catchy, and like, I have a soft spot for Lil Nas X. I think that he's like a cute little young dude.
Yeah.
Like on the come up, and I like his story, so.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
If you were a facial expression, what would it be?
That.
Yes. I love that.
Because I feel like that's my facial expression often, because I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. You're lying.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it encompasses so much that,
What is your ethnicity? Because I know that you probably get that question a lot, and people are probably going to want to know.
Yeah, so I'm mixed, black and white, but my mother's Russian and my father's from West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
Did you just talk to your mom and I was like, she's speaking another language?
Yeah.
I was like, this is not Spanish.
No, yeah, most people are like, oh, you're Puerto Rican, you're Dominican, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, I'm not, but thank you. I'm like, that's cool. I have nothing against people who, that's, their truth, but that's just not me.
Right.
So, yeah.
Have you been to Russia?
Yeah, I lived there for 9 years. I was born there. Yeah, I was born there, and I lived there till I was 9. And then we came to the States when I was 9, like a couple of weeks after my 9th birthday.
Do you miss it at all? Like, is it?
Yes and no. Okay. Like, I have family, so I miss my family there, and like friends and stuff. And I just miss life outside of the United States.
True.
I just feel like some stuff that's here is just, ridiculous. But at the same time, that's like, you're going to find that everywhere you go. So, I don't know. I feel like would I go back and live there again? I don't know, maybe if life were to take me, but I'm not necessarily eager to go back and stay. But I would definitely go for like a summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 3 categories, and I want you to choose out of the categories what means the most to you and what means the least, and you can mix and match these things however you want to.
Okay.
So the first group of things is love, sex, and relationships. The next is society, culture, and politics. And then the next is spirituality and or religion, because I know everybody doesn't mix and match. match
Okay.
those.
Okay.
So what comes first for you?
Out of all of them, or just one, or it doesn't matter?
You can do it however you want to.
Okay, well, I'll just go based off sort of the categories you gave. So the first was love, sex, and relationships, right? So I think I would say love and relationships are in the same vein because I feel like you can have love in all of your relationships, right? Whether they're familial, platonic, romantic. So yeah, I think, and if you have like a healthy relationship, whatever that means, it's, in my opinion, based in like love, right? So for that, I would say that would be first, and then sex second in that category. Then what were the other ones?
Society, culture, politics was one, and the other was spirituality and or religion.
Okay, so I would say spirituality over religion.
Okay.
I mean, I attend church. I believe in God. I am, I guess, technically Russian Orthodox. That's what I was baptized, the religion I was baptized in, but it's essentially the same thing as Catholicism, like very few differences.
Okay.
So when I do go to church, I typically go to a Catholic church because there's not very many Russian Orthodox churches here. There's like a couple in DC, but anyway. But I still say spirituality because I feel like religion is too constricting and too confined. Like, I think there's too many rules. A lot of them I think are good. A lot of them I think are outdated. While I believe the teachings of the Bible, I think it's something like with any book that you read, there are lessons from it that you garner and apply to your life, right? But it's not necessarily like 100% hard and fast rule, a guidebook to what it means to be a good person. Especially when I think as you grow and you age, what it means to be a good person can change. You know, as you evolve, as you grow, as you have experiences that shape you, that idea of, you know, what is the best Josie is going to be different.
Right.
And the best Josie to you may be someone different than the best Josie to someone else, you know? So I feel like, you know, like using the Bible for me as like a hard and fast, this is good, this is bad, just doesn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would definitely pick spirituality because I feel like that's a little bit more forgiving, but that's not necessarily the word I'm looking for, but it sort of gives you the chance to like decide what it is you need in that moment and find the best way to fulfill that. So sometimes that is like sitting down and going through my Bible that's like highlighted a billion times over and falling apart, or sometimes it's meditating, or sometimes it's like lighting a candle and just sitting in the quiet of my home. Sometimes it's, you know, like using a tarot deck. For me, that it's a lot of different things. And for me, like, I feel like I found that happy balance of each one of those things where I feel like I can get from it what I want. And, you know, I respect others who have a different opinion on it, but that just works for me. And then, sorry, the other one was politics,
society, culture, politics.
Okay. Culture, society, politics. Politics definitely least. Because I think politics are ever changing and it truly depends on the culture and the society. So for those, I'd probably say culture first, then society, then politics. Because the culture is the people. Like, the culture is the way that, you know, we interact with each other. It's the way that we dress. It's the way that, you know, like stories get passed down from generation to generation. And I feel like without culture, then you wouldn't have a society where you have different groups of people intermingling their cultures, or even the same group of people, you know, intermingling with each other. And once you have that, I think that's sort of where politics comes in. I think innately politics isn't necessarily a bad thing. You know, I think that just like any anything, there has to be some sort of structure. And I think that whether it's like written down politics or like folklore that's been passed down, there's some kind of structure, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think politics innately are a bad thing, but I think in our society today, politics are they're used as like I guess a facade, a way in which you can like spew vitriol and cover that in. But this is just politics, you know?
Right.
It's sort of a scapegoat when it shouldn't be.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, explain to me what social media is to you. What do you think about it?
I think about it as something fun, something to do when you're bored, you know? Something that isn't always, but should be, like, pretty lighthearted and, you know, used to, like, connect and encourage people. Connect with people and encourage them. Like, I don't really take social media too serious. Because it's just exhausting to be, like, you know, hyper-focused and hyper-aware and always on and, like, always trying to capture the perfect moment.
Right.
And always trying to capture the perfect angle so that, you know, you look your best and blah, blah, blah. Like, after a while, that's just too much. And, yeah. So I look at it as just something fun, something to do, but nothing that I let control my life.
Okay. That's good. A lot of us.
I know.
Like that way.
No, and it's hard. It's hard. It was definitely like, I was definitely way more focused on my social media presence before, but now I'm just kind of like, fuck it.
Right, for sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
Do you have any vices, like anything you turn to when you're stressed or angry that probably like isn't the best? Like, you know, working out and whatever. Like, do you have any, I guess, bad habits? Or
yeah. I mean, a good glass of wine or 7 goes a really long way. So, yeah. But I like to, I mean, I think everything in moderation, right? I don't think that, I don't really let myself feel too bad about, like, having a cheat day or having, like, 1 too many glasses of wine one day or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's, like, I probably needed it. I needed to, like, let loose. You know, I needed to sort of relinquish some of the control that I typically have, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, of course, like, I can overindulge in anything, whether that's food, whether that's just going out and spending money, whether that's, like, you know, maybe overlooking some of my, like, school responsibilities to have fun or whatever, like, you know, like any human, I can do that, but I try not to let it go on for too long. So, like, limit it to a weekend every couple of months or so. And then, I try to just be like, okay, that happened, and it is what it is. Don't feel too bad about it, you know?
Okay. So, I'm trying this new thing, and you're the first person I'm asking this, so I want to go through the 5 senses.
Okay.
So, we'll start with smell. So, do you have, like, a favorite smell or something that, like, I don't know, every time you smell it, it takes you back to a certain memory?
Maybe not taking me back to a certain memory, but I really love, like, I love how herbs smell in general. I really like lavender. I think a lot of people like lavender just because I think it's really, like, soothing. But yeah, pretty much like any herb, I like how it smells. Any flower, most flowers I like. I like floral, like woodsy scents. I don't know that there's one in particular that I like gravitate to more than others. It honestly just depends on my mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you think of touch, what do you think of? Like, what's one of your favorite things to touch or to have, like, in your space?
Honestly, like, one of my favorite things is of, like, a lukewarm shower in the summer.
Yeah.
Just, like, the feeling of the water after, like, a hot day. Another one of my favorite things is to like have my hair played with or like my scalp touched. I really like that. That's always like really calming and really relaxing for me. Yeah.
Okay. What is the most beautiful to you, like sight wise? Like, what is just like breathtaking in your eyes?
When you have the chance to see it, like a night sky with all the stars.
That's so hard to get around here.
Yeah.
There's so much light.
Yeah.
So hearing, other than music, is there anything else that calms you? I know you said you meditated, but I mean, are there certain sounds or anything like, I don't know, just anything? I've heard of people listening to like, what are those things? They're like tones?
Binaural beats.
Yeah. Like, is there anything that really like calms you down or just like, just do other than music?
I mean, I just like nature sounds are pretty cool, like rain. I like thunderstorms a lot. Yeah, thunderstorms I find to be really calming. Like wind.
Yeah.
Even like fire burning, but like a controlled fire.
Yeah.
You know,
like the crackle.
Yeah.
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 Okay. And I guess the last thing is taste. So like, what's your favorite food or ice cream or
yeah. I like spicy.
Yes.
That's like my favorite. It doesn't really necessarily matter what, but like as long as it's spicy, more than likely I will enjoy it.
Okay.
So yeah, I love spicy.
I love that. A lot of people run from spice.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't.
So
it'll do you good.
What is one of the hardest conversations you've ever had to have?
I mean, honestly, kind of going back to what I touched on earlier with, like, all my school stuff, just the conversation with myself and, like, telling myself that, you know, even though, yes, these things have happened, that doesn't mean that you're not, like, cut out for it. And really, really almost, like, deprogramming myself from being in a place of, like, such, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not disappointment, but just feeling like so, well, I guess, yeah, like disappointed, let down by my role in the situation, the role of others in the situation, and feeling like maybe it's easier to give up than to keep going. And sort of like talking my way through that, allowing myself to feel that, and then moving on.
Okay. What do you feel will restore connection, like in our generation? What do you feel like you could do?
I mean, honestly,
what needs to change, I guess.
I think that it's all about being vulnerable with people, you know, like, I think so many people go through things that social media leads us to believe, like, you're alone and you're not, like, sort of dealing with whatever issues or feelings that you may have. Because I feel like, you know, everyone tries to put their best foot forward or, like, take a picture of the day that they're dressed the best, and no one really goes out of their way to post, like, you know, today I really feel like shit, and, you know, I'm bloated, and my favorite jeans don't fit, and now I don't know what to wear, you know, like, people don't really post that. And so I think just being, like, open and honest in whatever way that means to you, but, like, living that fully, you know, rather than doing something because that's, like, the cool thing to do, or that's the right thing to do. And I think, like, we're starting to do a good job, you know? But, yeah. I also have no idea what I'm drawing, so.
No, it's okay. It's totally fine. Share an embarrassing moment.
Oh my gosh, embarrassing moment. Jeez, I feel like I've had so many. Trying to think of a really good one. Oh, okay. So one time, I had to give a presentation, and I was really nervous, and I gave a presentation, and it was fine. And then I was asking people if they had questions or whatever, and there was a lull, and I passed gas really loud. Like, no, and it came out of nowhere. Like, I wasn't expecting it. It's not like I was holding it in. It just happened, and there was no way of, like, not, of being like, oh my God, who did that? Like, it was obvious it was me, and I was just like, y'all, I'm so sorry. And yeah, it was just like, it had went well, and I just don't know. I was like, yes, any questions? And it was just quiet, and like, I took a step, and then it just, my bells were like, here you go, girl. Like, you don't have to deal with the silence anymore. And I was just like, oh, wow, thank you.
How old were you when this happened?
It was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
So I was in my early to mid-20s. Yeah, it was, I mean, everybody laughed, and everybody was like, you know, whatever, like, it happens to all of us, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't even mortified. I was just like, it would be me, and this would be when it happened. Like,
Right.
not when someone was asking a question, but like in the dead quiet. It was very humbling.
Yeah,
Very humbling.
Sure. Did anyone ask a question, or did you just end up sitting down?
Somebody asked a question after. Yeah, like
Okay,
after
good.
everybody was done laughing.
Okay.
Myself included.
Yes.
So,
You have to laugh at yourself in this
Yes.
kind of situation.
yes.
Do you send important information through text message? Like, would you rather meet with someone in person about something important, or do you just like send them a long text? Like, I don't feel like doing it.
It depends. I think that, like, I don't think I would ever, like, end a relationship via text message, whether that's a friendship or a romantic relationship, unless, like, the person really, like, fucked up and did something, like, so grimy that I can't physically look at you, then I would. But otherwise, no. Like, if I had some important news to share with friends or family, I would much rather do it face to face.
Yeah.
And then, if not that, then like a phone call at least.
Okay. What is something that's changed in the past year?
Something that's changed in the past year. I definitely have like prioritized my alone time and like rest this past year, because I'm definitely like a social butterfly, and I try to be at whatever my friends are doing, whether that's to support them or just to like have fun or whatever. And I feel like in years past I've done that, you know, regardless of how tired I was, or like how, if I wasn't feeling well or whatever. And I feel like this year it was one of my sort of resolutions to like prioritize like my own well-being first, and realize that, you know, those who love you and care about you will understand if you're like, hey, I love you, but I just can't. And it's not because I don't want to, and it's not because you don't mean a lot to me, but it's just like I have to take care of myself. So I think that, like, yes, I am tired, you know, now, but that's because, like, you know, school, and I have so much going on. But it's not like, I feel like this time last year I was like dragging and like barely like praying for Thanksgiving so I could have like some scheduled time off, you know.
Yes.
So
Okay. What do you question most?
oh my God. Woo. Question. It's like question and honestly fear.
Okay.
I have a very, very, very big fear of dying. I realize it's going to happen. I realize there's nothing I can do about it. However, just like picturing like one day when I won't be here, and sort of like how that, not, it shouldn't matter, but I don't know. It's just something that like really freaks me out. And I'm like, okay, what about what's going to happen to my children and their children, and what is the world going to be like?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, you know, will I be remembered? Will I, you know, like, will the people that I leave behind know that I love them? Like, that's, yeah. Woo.
Okay, second to last question. What's missing?
What's missing? Honestly, what's missing? That's good. What's missing? That's missing. I think humility. Yeah.
And is this just in general, or
Yeah.
is this okay?
In general, I think that everyone can use some, myself included, you know. And I think that if we did more to try to find it and achieve it, it would be better for everyone.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Okay, last question, and I give the same scenario to everybody.
Okay.
So all of the electricity goes out, but like the phones, the TVs, the computers, those are still on, but just like PSA pops up, public service announcement, and then it's your face. Like, what are you gonna say to the entire, I guess, nation?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. We don't control the world.
Yeah,
on that
it's
power,
just
so
my
it's
face.
Yeah, so it's literally just like this much, and it's you.
Well, okay, I'm gonna tell them this not gonna be a purge. That's what we won't do. Okay, that's what we won't do. And I would just be like, look, all my survivalists, this is when you come in, because I don't know what I would do. You know, I'd be like, I'm very happy to help coordinate, but this is not my wheelhouse. So yeah, I don't know. I would try to do like a call to action or something,
Right.
but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know what I would say, but if I realized that it was just me, was like my face, I feel like I would be like on automatically and have like my game face on.
Yeah.
And probably be like freaking the fuck out in my head, you know, like what the fuck is happening? Why am I on these TVs? Like, is this like a sick joke? Like, what in the Black Mirror? But I would just try to go with the punches, I guess.
Okay.
Because, you know, I don't know, could I turn my computer off?
Sure, I guess. So say it wasn't a stressful situation and you just got a chance to say to the world what you want to say to the world. Like, what would you say in that situation?
Okay. I'd probably, you know, introduce myself, be like, hey, how y'all doing? I know this is weird, but, I don't know, I'd probably try to say something, like, positive and, you know, try to remind everyone that it's never as bad as it seems, even if it's the worst thing, you know, and that's not to, like, you know, play the shame Olympics or the terrible Olympics and say, like, well, I'm worse off than you or whatever. It's, you know, it's not a contest, but it's just, like, it's all about sort of your outlook, and, like, things can be shitty and really bad, and, you know, you can be in a terrible place, but if you want to get out of it, like, it does start with yourself, you know? You can only control, like, I can't control what somebody else is going to do. I can't control how they're going to act to me, but I can control sort of how I take that. So if someone, you know, chooses to be evil to me, that doesn't mean I need to, like, live that and breathe that. So, yeah, I would say, you know, it could always be worse, and think, like, just urge people to think about, like, where they were and the growth that it's taken them to get to where they are now, and that they should really, like, take pride in that and use that as their motivation.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Oh my gosh.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Show everyone what you drew.
I don't want to, because it doesn't make sense. It's just like random colors. I was like, I don't know what to draw. I was thinking of doing, like, I don't know, and then I was like, okay, I got this page colored, it's cool, and then I just started drawing random shapes, and yeah.
Works for me. Can you sign him?
Yes,
Okay.
I will. Actually, can I get a black?
Yeah.
Just, or like a really dark color.
Black.
Perfect. What's today? The 4th. probably sell this when I become famous for something or other. Here you go.
Sweet, thank you.
You're welcome. This is Josie, and